everyone. Welcome to the Manifesting You YouTube channel. Just want to say first off, thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, interacting. It's been an amazing experience for those of you that have been following the monthly tarot readings. And because they have gone over so well, and I just find astrology to be so fascinating. Now granted, for those that are skeptical, it's not a perfect science, but I view it as a science. I use it as a diagnostic tool that gives you insight into people. It helps you to understand others that are different from you. And yes, there are lots of variations, just like a fingerprint. No one is the exact mold of a sign, but it gives you insight that you may not have any other way. So I have found it to be a pretty powerful tool. And with the monthly readings surrounding your zodiac signs, I wanted to give just kind of a general, not exhaustive insight into each particular sign. To maybe, if you're curious about someone else, if you're dating someone else, or you just want to see more about you, I wanted to create this little series. So if this sounds appealing to you, keep watching. And this also can resonate if it is your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign. Okay, so last but certainly not least, we are going to be talking about Pisces. Anyone that was born on February 19th to March 20th, they are a Pisces. And Pisces is a water sign. It's also a mutable sign. A few key characteristics. I mean, Pisces has so much to talk about. A few key aspects to Pisces is first and foremost, imagination, creativity. They're very receptive. They are also very psychically sensitive, emotionally sensitive. They are naturally spiritually aware, natural trust in God and the universe. They are also incredibly compassionate, and they are, because of this compassion, they are oftentimes healers. So let's first talk about their imagination. Pisces are very romantic. They are incredibly imaginative. They see things differently than others do. That is why they produce, not all, but they can produce things like amazing art. They can be incredibly musically inclined. They can be writers. They almost see life as a poem or as a piece of artwork. Everything is fantasized and idealized for a Pisces. It's like life is a story. For a Pisces to feel alive, they need to find new and creative ways to see the world and to express the world. Because of this kind of illusionary state that a Pisces, they live in this illusionary state in a sense, or they represent illusionary states. So dreams, the sleeping state, when they're awake, they see things kind of in this fantasy, mystical way. There can be a sense of confusion to Pisces, like what is real and what is a fantasy. It's kind of a blurry line because they kind of view the world through these enhanced goggles, so to speak. But with this, taps them into this incredible creative flow, and it needs to be released for a Pisces. A Pisces is meant to be a conduit of this imaginative power in this creative way to make the world a more beautiful place to be in. And for a Pisces, their highest frequency is going to be a place of spiritual happiness because, and I will talk about this, but some of the challenges, a Pisces can struggle with is addictions. And the reason for this is because they have not yet embraced their spiritual bliss, that they're meant to dwell in a place that is at a very high place. And it can be a little intimidating because we are human. So they have this ability to be kind of at one and just to know that they are safe and loved because they exist. They have this awareness, but it can be overwhelming for a Pisces because they have such a great, vast information overload at all times that there is a need to almost escape from it. It can be overwhelming for a human to have such a innate understanding or a natural connection with the divine, and it can be overwhelming. So there can be a need for escapism. But when a Pisces accepts their gifts and accepts their sensitivities, they have a gift where they can just enjoy bliss just in being themselves. They don't need to look outward for happiness. They know that the inward state of spiritual happiness and connection with God is all they need. So they are more able to enjoy, maybe more naturally, this inner state of bliss and joy if they choose to. It's a joy of being naturally connected to everything. So this sensitivity and this awareness is really just a knowing that they are already connected to the divine, that God is everywhere and in everything. He isn't everything, but he's in everything, and they can just be, and they can rest in that. So because of this incredible high sensitivity that a Pisces is, they are also quite psychic. Whether they know it or not, I mean, it all depends on their level of awareness, but they are so emotionally sensitive. So Pisces is the fish, and it's ruled by water, and I always think about the ocean and the depths. It's like there's two fish and they're going in opposite directions. So one fish is at the surface and the other fish is at the depth. And it's like they experience water in all of its currents and all of its states, in its depths, in the shallow waters. They're aware of all this going on all at the same time. It's like being aware of the entire flow of the ocean all at once. So because of this, they're psychic, they're sensitive. They can feel what's going on around them, the people. They operate in this state. And this makes them incredibly emotionally sensitive and gentle. They have a beautiful awareness of the sensitivities and the needs of others. They can feel the currents, the highs and the lows of other people. And their gift to the world is that they can help other people see this mystical and spiritual side of life. With their gentleness and tenderness, they can introduce through creative approaches these mystical states, these more spiritual states. A Pisces is going to see past the physical illusion. They're aware of the physical illusion, but they know that there's a lot more going on than what, people see. A Pisces has a need to connect to a higher power, to connect to God. Shows them and teaches them that there is a need to surrender to all that is, that they are not in control, that they have to surrender to all these energies of life, and that they can trust this higher power, because they see the unity and the beauty of the world, and they know that they are safe. And that's why a lot of Pisces are healers. They're psychics, they're intuitives, they're spiritual teachers, because they are so receptive. They're able to be a conduit of this divine healing. And so they do represent spiritual healing as well. So when a Pisces is not using things to kind of numb themselves out or addictions, they're a beautiful conduit of divine love and beauty and compassion. When they're operating in this highest frequency, they know that God is the one doing everything. They're very humble. They don't take credit. They don't take human pride and accomplishment. They know that they're just a vessel and they're just available. They have this beautiful, gentle, receptive quality where they flow. So Pisces is on a journey and a path of healing. So they're going to be attracting the people, the situations, the events that are going to facilitate and bring these greater levels of depth and healing so that they can help heal the world. So Pisces, you will find participating in some type of healing. They are seeking healing. So that could be meditation, that could be yoga, that could be a spiritual purification process. They are in tune. They are aware that there's more. A Pisces needs a lot of quiet time. Because they're taking in so much at all times, they need to retreat. They need to have these quiet spaces, these quiet meditative places where they can connect with the divine. They're aware and in tune with God, with angels, with support, with help. And the more they do this, the more they have a natural inner peace, and the more they are this natural conduit of healing. So let's also talk about the loving nature of a Pisces. And I do have to just say, Jesus was a Pisces. They are incredibly self-sacrificial, and they are incredibly loving. They are forgiving. They are understanding. They are compassionate. They have the ability to put themselves in other people's shoes, and they are sympathetic, and they care about people's pain. The other beautiful thing about Pisces is they do this in a non-judgmental way. They want to understand why you are in this place or in a certain way, but they're going to do it in a non-judgmental way. They're very tolerant and very accepting. So, this is obviously an incredible gift, but we don't live in a perfect world, and so it can be very painful for Pisces because people can obviously take advantage. So a Pisces desire is to seek to understand why people are in situations or they are the way they are. But the purpose of this is to show compassion, to show tolerance and love and understanding. A Pisces is going to respond with compassion to those that are in need. Now, with all those wonderful things that Pisces are, let's talk about the negative. The biggest challenge for a Pisces is going to be a victim mentality. And the reason for this is because they do give so much, they care so much that, not everyone is going to reciprocate or show love or appreciation back. And so they are vulnerable. They're vulnerable to be hurt, and they're vulnerable to disappointment. And, they can go through some pretty painful situations. And this can be a challenge to not feel like a victim. If they have repeated situations, it can lead to a defeated mindset or mentality, and it takes a lot to overcome these things. Because of their high spiritual sensitivity, until they develop their gifts and, connect with God and heal, some of these things, they can be prone to panic attacks, to just feeling a lot of anxiety or overwhelmed. And it can lead to, like I was alluding to before, addictions. So, obviously the obvious ones, drugs, alcohol, smoking, but it could just be any type of addiction that numbs a Pisces out so that they can escape the intensity that they always are feeling and immersed in. And also because they have this gentle and beautiful way of viewing the world, kind of a romanticized, idealized way, which is beautiful, they can be prone to self-deception. So it's kind of like that blurry line between what is real and what is fantasy. What are they truly creating and what is truly manifesting in the physical world? So not only self-deception, it could also be they can deceive others. Whether that's intentional or not, it may come from a very pure heart, but it can be a challenge to discern. Because they have such a beautiful idealized vision of relationships, especially, and love, and they really, give people, they put their lovers on a pedestal, or the relationship or the situation, they can be disappointed. When the reality of life, the pain of life, it can be a lot for a Pisces, and so they have to deal with these disappointments, and which are really opportunities for growth and for healing, but it can be painful. So a spiritual path for Pisces is going to be to deal with these disappointments, to work at overcoming the feeling of helplessness and not being able to, be strong enough to fix it, overcoming playing the victim role, and even procrastinating, because once again, it's like reality is too harsh for them. They don't live in reality. They live in this more beautiful, idealized, amazing place. And so, merging that with the earth can be tough at times. Now, Pisces, the body part, it rules their feet. So if they have issues with their feet, it could be also a reflection of some imbalance in their life. So, you know, the way I see this is I know there's a lot of struggles for Pisces, but they've been given so many amazing gifts. And I really hope that you have enjoyed this series. And I actually, if you have any ideas or thoughts about what else you would like to know, you know, signs in relationships or just any ideas at all, I am totally open to that because this has really been enjoyable for me. So this is going to complete this 12 signs of the Zodiac. As always, I would so appreciate to like and subscribe. It's going to keep you updated on all the new stuff coming out. Thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful rest of your day.